Hello, everyone. My name is Dawn, and welcome to the Soulful Voices Circle Daily Oracle Card Reading. Today is Monday, May 2nd, 2022. So, last week I mentioned that I was waiting for a new deck to arrive by Sandra Ann Taylor, and it did arrive. It is called the Energy and Spirit Oracle. And I've had a chance to do a couple of readings, not many, but a few readings for myself with the cards. So I'm becoming a little bit familiar with them. But the thing about an oracle card is that, first of all, we have a guidebook that we can always go to if we don't understand what the card means when we pick it up. But the thing is, we look for the energy that we feel when we pull the card. And if we pull a card in conjunction with other cards, usually here I do a one card reading. Occasionally, I might pull another card, or sometimes two cards turn up like yesterday. But we can really usually get an initial sense of what that card means for us. And so then we start to process that. But then um, if we really get confused, we look to the book. So we always have a guide. So with that, I thought this week would be a good week to really dig in a little bit more to this particular deck. Okay, it's the Energy and Spirit Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor, rather. And I have worked with several of her decks before. I do have several of her decks, so I am familiar with the way in which she does oracles and uses oracles and the language and meanings that she attributes that to them. So I am bringing that with me here today. Anyway, I thought it would be a good day Monday to just ask, what do we need to understand today? You know, we're in a new week, a new work week anyway, for many of us. And so with that, we're just going to ask, what do we need to know today? And especially since we're using this new deck, maybe tomorrow or the next day we'll get a little bit more specific. Again, I always try to read the energy that I'm feeling for the day, and that could be based on a number of factors. It could be people that I'm interacting with, it could be um, things I'm observing out in the world, different things that influence the question that I want to bring forward. So today, let's just ask that basic question. We have a new deck. Let's just get familiar with the deck, the language, the energy, and so on. All right, so we're going to invoke our spiritual protection right now. If you would like to join in, close your eyes, and we're going to do some breathing and some pr- what I consider prayer. It's like a little meditation. We're asking for spirit to come forward and to help protect us and give us the wisdom that we need. Okay, so take a deep breath in and blow out, listening to your breath. Stay in that quiet for a minute. Take another deep breath in and blow out again, listening to your breath and pushing that air into your heart. One more time in, push down, breathe out, and just put your hand on your heart if you feel up to it. Just feel the energy coming from the center of your chest in your heart center. And I'm going to ask our angels and guides to come forward, and I'm going to also invite the spirit of this new oracle, the Energy and Spirit Oracle, to come forward and join us today to provide us with the divine guidance and wisdom that we need to hear today. And I ask that we receive a healing during this reading today. And I ask the divine light to come forward and to surround us with the golden light of protection. and to keep any lower or negative energies away from entering into this reading or in any way, shape, or form trying to attach to our experience in these moments. And I thank the angels and guides for their divine wisdom. And I'm going to take one more deep breath in and slowly, slowly blow out. I am now centered and in my heart space, and I will begin the reading. I will shuffle the cards. And yes, I did give these cards a good shuffle beforehand, as I always do. I'll spin them around for you so you could see. They could show up in any direction. And this deck is read in upright and reverse position. So depending on the position, it could have a different meaning or a more intensified meaning of the message in the upright position. Okay. So what do we need to know today? These cards are all fanned out. Let's see. Balance. And it's in the reversed position. And it's centered energy and self-care. So we receive this in an upside down position, which my initial instinct from that is that perhaps we aren't feeling very balanced and centered today, and that this needs to be an area of focus for us. So we are going to get the book and see what the book has to say to us. And it's card number 24 in this deck. So, centered energy and self-care. In the reversed position, the balance card reverse indicates that at least one element of your life is significantly out of balance. Perhaps you spend all your time caring for another or are overly focused on your work or hobbies. If so, it's time to consider more honoring options. Of course, there are times when things must be temporarily out of balance, such as where a loved one is sick, but you can tolerate dismissing yourself for only so long. When imbalance becomes a way of life, you invite the universe to totally disregard your needs because you're already doing that yourself. You must reverse these patterns. Even if it feels difficult, start setting some boundaries and carving out time for yourself. Make sure you bring balance back to your physical life as well. Eat more nutritious food, drink plenty of water, and get some regular muscle movement. Your soul has come for a purpose, and part of that purpose is to learn how to love and care for yourself. Choose balance, and you choose your soul's priority. Okay, so this is a very powerful message. So we are starting a new week, right? And it's saying that already we've maybe gone in there too quickly. We went in there a little overzealous. And I think I warned yesterday of stepping out too fast and trying to make things happen too quickly. Okay? It cannot be all of one thing and then neglecting other things. Okay? So, what we need to do right now is reflect upon what it is that we are doing today. How have we started our day? Did we get off on the wrong foot? Are we exasperated about a particular situation already, right? And maybe we're focusing too much energy on it. Or have we just jumped in to something really, really big? And now that we're in it, we are seeing that it probably is a lot larger than what we expected it would be, right? So it's saying, let's reel this energy in a little bit. What have you been doing in the last few hours, or maybe over the last 24 hours or so, that has been putting you off balance? Have you not been caring for yourself? Have you been dedicating too much time to something somebody else wants or something somebody else needs and not looking out for what your needs are? Okay. Have you been maybe doing something from a monetary perspective, maybe spending too much money, or maybe the reverse? Maybe you've been holding on to your money so tight and it's causing some tension and friction in the relationships that you have because you don't want to spend because you have a consciousness of lack. Anything of this nature needs to be balanced out at this time, okay? Because it is hard to function in a healthy way if we are doing things that are extreme. Okay, so the message I'm getting here is let's look at those behaviors that we are engaging in that may be extreme, or what are the areas in our life that we are neglecting. Perhaps we're procrastinating on doing something that we really do need to take care of, but we're focusing all of our attention on something else because we don't want to tackle that other situation. So, really, let's try to do some deep diving today into our own behaviors. And don't look at what other people are doing. Don't compare yourself to what other people are doing. It's not about how other people live their life, it is about how you live your life, right? What you do in your everyday life. What helps you to feel centered and energetic, okay? So if you've been neglecting doing something, let's focus our attention on that. Or if you have been over engaging in any kind of activity, eating, drinking, sleeping, any type of, um, not sleeping, eating, well, if you have been sleeping too much, maybe there's something going on there, right? But any behaviors that you are overindulging in, take a look and see why. Ask the question, why am I doing this? And what do I need to do to get back on track? Okay. So it is really a true call for self care. So if you've, like I said earlier, if you've already jumped into this week trying to get so many things done because you can feel that movement of energy that, we didn't have over the weekend because we were being called to relax a little bit more, slow down. Okay. Don't overdo it. And it says you must reverse these patterns. Even if it feels difficult, start setting boundaries and carving out time for yourself. So, the boundary part is interesting because it's about putting boundaries on your own behaviors, right? What is it that you can change that you are going, too far in one direction or the other? But this could also be a card about putting boundaries on what other people are doing or calling or pulling you in to do, right? Those things create imbalance in us. If our focus, if we're trying to make somebody else happy or fulfill the needs of somebody else, that creates huge imbalance in us because we are no longer feeling peace and joy within ourselves. We are looking on the outside and trying to achieve something that does not belong to us. It belongs to that other person. And so if another person is pulling you into their sphere to try to get you to help them or do something, this is something that you really need to consider and say, okay, what am I doing here? How much of myself can I give? How much of myself am I willing to give? How much of giving to this other person is healthy for me? And am I ignoring my own needs, my own self work, my own um, projects that need to get done in order to make this person happy. And if that is the type of relationship you're in, you need to take a look at that and figure out whether or not you have the ability to rein that in. And if you don't, you need to decide if this is a relationship that is worth it for you to sacrifice yourself. Because if you are in this dynamic and you don't place a boundary around it, it will snowball. And this person or people will continue to take advantage of that situation. And when I say take advantage, it's not even necessarily an intentional, hurtful type of way of taking advantage. What it is that they've always known you to be this way. They've always known you to step in and to help a situation. And because of that, they don't even think anymore. They just assume. There are assumptions. So when you've been a certain type of person, and all of a sudden you've decided, no, I'm looking out for me, and you start to rein that in, it now creates an imbalance in that relationship for that person while you're trying to balance out yourself. But the fact that it creates an imbalance for that person is not your problem to solve. That is the problem for that person to solve. What you have to do is create inner balance, inner peace. You need to center yourself and ground yourself in your own experience, your own purpose, your own soul's existence here with you in this physical body. That is what you are learning to do here, at least a piece of it. You are learning to come back to yourself and not to look outside of yourself for the things that you need. Now, when I say that, it doesn't mean you don't need food and water and, heat and shelter. Of course, we need those things. And we need to look outside for the resources that we have and how we obtain that, yes. But the essential things of who you are as a person and what you're here to do and how you interface and interact with people, how you treat people, how you allow yourself to be treated, all of that is something that you need to balance out in your life. Nobody else can do that for you. They can guide you, they can suggest things to you, but ultimately, your balancing of your own inner strength and your own inner power is your job to do. It is the work that you have to do for yourself. And it is the work that helps you to understand the true concept of self love and what it means to have self love and self respect and the inner sense of integrity to know that you are in alignment with the highest good for yourself. And so we could talk about balance for a long time, I'm sure, but I will leave you with that message today. Um, Let me just take a quick look and make sure I didn't leave anything out. No, basically, I think we covered everything for now. So you have a great Monday, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Sending much love. Bye bye.